Hello everyone and welcome to Corlew's Tiebreaker, Daytona 500 Documentary Edition. This video will cover the history of this legendary race from the very beginning. Daytona Beach became the unofficial birthplace of speed in 1903 when two men argued over who had the fastest horseless carriage and decided things in a race on the white sand along the Atlantic Ocean. Since then, the community of more than 61,000 people in the heart of Florida's Fun Coast region has become a motorsports mecca, with a long, storied history filled with thrills, glory, and destruction. The speed competitions along the beach by 1958 had graduated to stock cars, which used a 3.2-mile course that combined both the beach and the city of Daytona. Bill France, who was then a local mechanic, entered the inaugural race on March 8, 1936, and finished fifth in the event. He also dabbled in racing for 10 years, then became a promoter and founded the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, known as NASCAR, in 1947. By 1953, France recognized that the development of the racing vehicles was going to make it nearly impossible to continue racing on a course that utilized the city and the beach, so he began plans on a permanent speedway. He signed a $2.5 million agreement a year later for what he decided would be a 2.5 tri-mile oval circuit with 31-degree banking. At the time, it was considered a wildly ambitious idea. Daytona International Speedway, also known as DIS, aka the World Center of Racing, was completed in 1959 and hosted the first Daytona 500 on February 22nd. A crowd of more than 41,000 people watched a field of 59 cars race for a purse less than $70,000. The finish was so close it took 3 days to determine that Lee Petty had edged out Johnny Buchamp to win the event. It is known as the first photo finish in NASCAR history. The approximately 500-acre motorsports complex boasts the most diverse schedule of racing on the globe. In addition to at least 9 major event weekends, the Speedway grounds are also used extensively for events that include concerts, civic and social gatherings during non-pandemic times, car shows, photo shoots, production vehicle testing, and police motorcycle training. In addition, Daytona International Speedway showcases daily track hours and is home to the champion Daytona 500 car for a calendar year, and the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America is also located on the property. Some of the pictures that you will see coming up on your screen here shortly include some of the thrills that make up the Daytona 500, and what makes it so intense and entertaining for the fans is when cars typically crash at speeds of at least 180 miles an hour, sometimes even close to 200 miles an hour. And these pictures right here showcase one of the weirdest events ever to take place at the Daytona 500 when Pablo Montoya crashed into a jet dryer after suffering mechanical failure. In 1962, local star Glenn Fireball Roberts won an event in his hometown, capturing the Daytona 500. Then in 1965, the Daytona 500 was shortened by rain, giving Fred Lorenzen the victory after 133 of the scheduled 200 laps. In 1967, Mario Andretti captured the Daytona 500, and then A.J. Foyt followed suit in 1972 as open-wheel drivers to win the event. Richard Petty became the first driver to win consecutive Daytona 500s in 1973 and 1974, while David Pearson won the Firecracker 400 later that year. Then in 1976, this moment happened when Pearson and Petty crashed coming out of turn 4 at the Daytona 500. In 1976, Janet Guthrie became the first female driver to compete in the Daytona 500. Then this fight happened in 1979 when the race was televised live on CBS for the first time. Cale Yarborough became the first driver with a pole speed of more than 200 miles an hour in 1984. In 1988, Davey and Bobby Allison became the only father-son duo to finish 1-2 in the Daytona 500. Then in 1990, Derek Cope won the Daytona 500 after Dale Earnhardt Sr. cut a tire. Then in 1998, in his 20th attempt Dale Earnhardt finally won his first and only Daytona 500 victory. In 2008, Ryan Newman won the 50th running of the Daytona 500, utilizing a huge push from teammate Kurt Busch on the last lap. Danica Patrick finished 8th in the Daytona 500, making her the highest finishing woman in the Daytona 500. And drivers with multiple Daytona 500 wins include Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Denny Hamlin with 3, Jeff Gordon with 3, Dale Jarrett with 3, Bobby Allison with 3, including when he finished 1-2 with his son Davey. Cale Yarborough had 4 Daytona 500 victories, and the King, Richard Petty, matched his number of career Cup Series championships with Daytona 500 wins at 7. So there you have it, folks. A complete history of the Daytona 500, including some of the more memorable moments in NASCAR history. Hopefully you guys found this video interesting and learned a lot of cool and fun facts during this video. And learning about this legendary event is just, it's one of the coolest things as a NASCAR fan to watch the Daytona 500 every year, considering it's the Super Bowl of NASCAR and it's the opening race for all of the NASCAR touring series, from the Cup Series all the way down to the ARCA Series. So it gives you a great glimpse into what the future is going to look like, or it can kind of give you an idea of maybe some teams that might be a little overhyped. But this race is definitely on my bucket list as a NASCAR fan to attend someday. And when I do, I'm going to max out the experience and stay in the infield and just enjoy all that there is to do in Daytona. And hopefully I'll get to see Chase Elliott win a Daytona 500 live or on TV. Doesn't matter to me. It's a great American race, and usually you end a season with your Super Bowl, but in NASCAR, you start it off there. And for making it this far, I've included a bonus video just for you, my fans.
This is it. This is the Daytona 500 right here.
And you saw Junior jump to the outside of what I thought was a pretty fast race car down there, Tony Stewart. And if he gets up on the outside of Jeff Gordon, we got a race on our hands. So this is going to come. They're going to come from everywhere.
Gordon's on the gas. Green flag. 2 laps to settle it.
They got that fast restart. There you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes to the bottom, slams the door on Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Looks like Johnson's going to get kicked to the high side, though, by Kurt Busch in the 97.
Stewart is locked in the 20. Nowhere to go. It's Junior and Gordon.
Gordon's not going to give up that yellow line. You can bet that.
8 car with you. 2-car gap. That's 2 by 2.
Now, Junior's got help. Kurt Busch. No, Busch slices to the outside. He wants to win the 500.
Coming outside.
He gives Jeff Gordon a push going off into turn 3.
Kurt Busch, the next Dell Cup champion, fights his way to second.
The good thing he can't get any closer than that, because I believe he would have probably given Gordon a big shot up the hill.
Here they come, boys. White flag. 1 to go. Scott Riggs to Forrest. Stewart looks to go 3 wide. Thinks better of it. He is trapped behind Jimmy Johnson.
Boy, that 97 car of Kurt Busch is a fast piece of equipment right there. He's got to look.
He's the only Ford in the front 5. What can he do?
Look at Scott Riggs in that 10 car. He's trying to get him a top 5 finish in this Daytona 500. And there's Jimmy Johnson on the 48 on the outside, Darrell. Somebody needs to get up there and go with him, but I don't know if Tony Stewart can run the outside or not. He hadn't all day. Busch to the outside. Gordon slams the door into turn 3.
6 cars have a chance to win it. Jeff Gordon's going to lead him into turn 4. They're 1 mile from home.
Tony Stewart just slid up the racetrack. He and Jimmy Johnson are going to make contact.
3 wide. They're bouncing off each other. Jeff Gordon's going to win his 3rd Daytona 500. Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., and Scott Riggs completes a green week with a 4th place finish.